So what we're going to look at doing in this section is we're going to move our functionality and we're going to remove our what's going on, or at least some of it, in our local state, and we're going to move it into Redux. And to do this, we're going to need to create events, update events, and delete events. And that means we're going to be creating some actions. So let's get the boilerplate out of the way, and inside the event folder, I'll create a new file, and this one's going to be called eventconstants.js. And in here, we're going to need to export const, and we'll just say create event equals create event. And I'll just copy this down a couple of times and just update the create here to update, and same in this one. And we'll also have an action for deleting events as well. So delete event and delete event. Boilerplate step number 1 complete. And then we need to create an event actions file. So I'll create another new file and call it eventactions.js. And we're going to have 3 action creators. And we're going to have 3 action creators that return 3 actions. So what we'll do is we'll say export const create event, and for this we're going to need to pass in our new event that we're creating. So I'll specify event, and what we'll return in this case is our type, which we always need for our action, and this is going to be create event, and make sure we get the import from event constants up there. And this time we do need a payload in this. So what I'm going to do is specify payload. And inside the payload, my preference is to return this as an object and specify the event object inside here. So what this means is when we access this, we're going to say payload.event to get access to the event inside here. Now there's no need for this to be a separate object. This could just be event, for instance. But I do tend to prefer creating an object because I just find it a little bit cleaner when we're using this in the reducer to have this as an object itself. So I'm just going to specify the event inside the payload, and we'll need another action creator for update event equals, and again this is going to be past the event, and we'll return the type is going to be update event in this case, and the payload once again is going to be event. And our final action for now is going to be the delete event, and this time we just need the event ID, and we'll return the type is delete event, and the payload is going to be, again, even though this is just an ID, I'm going to return it inside an object called payload and specify the event ID inside here. So these are our 3 action creators that are all returning the actions that have a type and a payload in this case. And what we'll look at next is creating our event reducer and our event reducer functions to update our state. And we'll also give our event reducer some initial state as well, which is going to be our events that we'll take from our event dashboard. And we'll take a look at that next.